has said today that if Putin doesn't have talks with Zelensky, then President Trump will have been, quote, played. Is that true? Is President Trump being played by President Putin at the moment?
Such an absurd.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to react to a pretty heated exchange that's been making the rounds. The clip in question is about President Trump, Vladimir Putin, Ukraine, and this ongoing debate over whether Trump is being, quote, played by Putin.
Such an absurd question. President Trump has achieved 7 peace deals in 7 months. No president in history has done more to advance the cause of peace. He's been nominated by multiple world leaders for the Nobel Peace Prize. Literally no president, not just in our lifetimes, but that I can think of in American history, and no world leader anywhere today, anywhere on earth, has done more to advance world peace than President Trump. He's ended the conflict between Israel and Iran. He's ended the conflict between Rwanda and Congo, between India and Pakistan, Azerbaijan. I mean, example after example after example. And obviously he's working steadfastly to end the killing in Ukraine. And keep in mind, this is President Biden's war. It started because of President Biden, and President Trump inherited President Biden's war, and he's working steadfastly to end the killing. And that's something that everyone in the world should celebrate. Yes.
Now, the first thing that stood out in the video is the speaker's outright dismissal of the question. They call it absurd to even suggest that Trump is being manipulated by Putin. Honestly, I think this is where things get interesting. Because when you're talking about geopolitics, perception matters just as much as reality. If there's even a public perception that Trump is being played, then that in itself has consequences, whether or not it's true. Secondly, the speaker highlights Trump's track record of peace deals. 7 peace agreements in 7 months. If we take that claim at face value, that's definitely impressive. Historically, it's rare for any president to rack up that many diplomatic agreements in such a short window of time. But here's where I think we need nuance. Not all peace deals are equal. Some are groundbreaking, others are symbolic. The question is, how lasting and impactful were those deals? Because history shows us that quick agreements don't always translate into long-term peace. Third, there's the Nobel Peace Prize nomination point. Yes, Trump was nominated by multiple world leaders, and that in itself is significant. But here's the reality. Nominations don't always mean you fundamentally change the world. They often reflect politics, timing, and sometimes even symbolic gestures. So while it's an honor, it's not necessarily the gold stamp of being the ultimate peacemaker. Then the speaker makes a really bold claim that Trump ended conflicts between Israel and Iran, Rwanda and Congo, and even India and Pakistan. Now, I've got to be real here. This is where the video raises eyebrows. Because if you follow global affairs closely, you know those conflicts are far from over. Tensions between Israel and Iran are ongoing, with proxy battles happening across the Middle East. Rwanda and Congo have had periods of reduced fighting, but the situation is still volatile. And India and Pakistan? Their rivalry runs deep, rooted in history, territory, and nationalism. So to say Trump ended those conflicts feels like an exaggeration, if not a complete stretch. Finally, there's the Ukraine issue. The speaker frames it as President Biden's war, saying Trump simply inherited it and is working to end the bloodshed. But fact-checking this is crucial. The war in Ukraine escalated dramatically in 2022, long after Trump left office. So calling it Biden's war is not accurate. It's a Russian war of aggression, period. Now, that doesn't mean U.S. leadership hasn't influenced how events unfold, but let's keep the accountability where it belongs, on Russia, not just on Biden or Trump. So here's my takeaway. The video is a clear attempt to paint Trump as the ultimate peacemaker while shifting blame for Ukraine onto Biden. And while Trump may have had some diplomatic wins during his presidency, we need to balance those claims with reality. Peace isn't just about signing deals, it's about resolving deep rooted conflicts, preventing escalation, and creating stability that lasts beyond one administration. At the end of the day, I think both sides of the political spectrum often exaggerate when it comes to foreign policy wins and losses. Trump supporters want to credit him with ending wars everywhere, while his critics want to dismiss his diplomacy entirely. The truth usually lies somewhere in the middle. But what do you think? Was Trump genuinely advancing peace in a way no other president has? Or is this video overselling his legacy? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear different perspectives on this. And as always, if you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss the next deep dive. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.